You frustrated with slow sales on Takealot? Maybe your products just aren't picking up. You're not alone. Most sellers end up facing this problem, usually because they just don't have a clear system in place. My name is Romero May and I've been selling on Takealot for about a year now, helping others increase their sales and revenue on Takealot with a proven framework. In this video, I'll be sharing my exact steps that I use daily to help my business succeed and the steps that I've used to help many others with their business too. And be sure to stick around till the end, where I'll share one of the biggest tips that will help you make your product stand out on a very competitive marketplace. I really struggled my first few weeks selling on Takealot, trying to get set up, trying to find the right products to sell. I ended up finding 2 products that I thought were going to be selling like crazy. They were unique, they weren't on Takealot, and after a full month, we hadn't sold a single unit. And that made me do some real questioning and real research into why that was. Throughout the last few months, I've really been developing a framework that I like to call the BOLD framework that has helped me just stick to an actual system and be able to copy, paste, rinse and repeat. And now it's helped us find more and more unique products in different categories that are actually doing well, selling well, and making us good revenue at a good profit. The BOLD framework is an acronym for my 5-step procedure that I go through every single time I'm thinking about a new product or trying to find one. Step number 1 is to brainstorm. Now, this is where I spend at least 60% of my time, sometimes even more. It first starts out really exciting because I've got these ideas, these new products that I'm looking at. And by the end of hours and hours in researching, I'm usually a little bit fed up and bored and sometimes feel like giving up, but this is the part that is by far one of the most foundational and most important to finding products that are actually going to work and sell and be profitable on Takealot. This is where you select and research trending items that are currently doing well either on Takealot or on other platforms such as Amazon. When I'm going through these products, I try to look for products that are helping solve a big pain point for customers or something that might be a very easy impulse buy as well. The 3 tools that I use the most in this brainstorming phase is going to be the best sellers section on Takealot's page. That's completely free. You just go to Takealot, I believe it's /bestsellers. I'll put the link somewhere in the description. But I go through there. Of course, they'll show you every type of category and I see what is selling the best. How much is it selling for? How many reviews does it have? And what do the reviews say about the product? I personally stay away from any product that is retailing for 300 Rand or less. It just isn't worth it selling on Takealot. I also personally avoid anything that has multiple sizes, like clothing items, only because it has a very high return rate. Same as cheap technology. It also has one of the highest return rates on Takealot, and that becomes expensive too, especially when the ticket item is not that much. The second place I do my research is on Google Trends. Again, another free platform. I would search in the keyword. Maybe I got some ideas browsing through current products that are doing well on Takealot in the best sellers section. Or maybe I've just come through a Facebook ad or something and I think, oh, that's a good idea. I'll do a search to see if it's on Takealot, and if it's not a high competition area, I'll go into Google Trends and I'll search that item. For example, I'll go to Google Trends and type in vlogging camera and I'll see how many people are searching for that. Are there any distinct trends? Maybe people are searching for it more towards the end of the year, Christmas time, or maybe towards the new year because they want to start something new. I'll look out for any of those trends so that the timing of my product is correct as well. I'll also be looking out for something that's trend is busy increasing. We don't want to see something dying off over the years. I'll go to the settings and track for the last 5 years just to try and get the best overview of that product or that trend. My third and current favorite tool, and this is not sponsored in any way, however, it's been the tool I've been using the absolute most recently, and that is a brand new app called Takealytics. Now, full disclosure, the team at Takealytics did reach out to me in the comments wanting to show me the platform. I was very hesitant at first, and I was able to get access and play around for the last month or so, and it's literally where I've been spending most of my time. I do have a link in the description, and it is an affiliate link, just so that you know. The biggest reason that I've been using this app is that it allows me to actually search current items based on the categories. Maybe I only want to look in the sports category, or maybe I only want to look in the beauty industry. I can then search based on reviews and I can say I only want to see products with 4-star ratings and above, as I don't want to waste my time with anything that has been rated very low. And I want to make sure that the product has sold at least 20 units in the last 30 days and generated over 10,000 Rand revenue a month. And I can filter search and get access to between 20 and hundreds of different products that fit that unique search. This has personally helped save me a lot of time scrolling through the Takealot bestsellers page. It also gives me unique insights on how many items and how much that's sold. I have also used their platform to track my own products to make sure that their numbers are actually correct. And so far, I've had no issues with that. If you see a product that's doing well, you can also track it live, which means that you can copy and pasted, and you can be tracking that product over the next, I like to track it for at least 3 days, sometimes a week or two, and see that it's still currently selling. There's no point in December you search and you see that Christmas trees are selling like crazy, thousands of units, thousands of rands in revenue, and then in January you decide to order them and try sell them. Now that's a bit obvious, but that still applies to other products. You want to track it to make sure that it's still currently selling. Moving to step number 2, understand. This is one of the biggest parts that people skip, and unfortunately it can cost you a lot of money and a lot of time. This is also the section where I'll usually decide whether I'm going to go ahead and order a product or whether I'm just going to scrap it and go back to the brainstorming phase. Questions that I ask myself is, where can I source this item? Maybe on Alibaba, straight from a manufacturer. Maybe it's a local product that someone is making here, or a big brand that I would need to email and try to get the rights to sell. How much will this item cost to get to my house? And will I need to do any additional packaging? And how much will that packaging cost? So for example, if I'm ordering a product that's coming loose in a box of 20, I know that I'm going to need to package that according to Takealot standards. Now, if you need to know more about packaging and shipping, you can click the video up here where I go deep into that. This is not the video for that though, but I assess any additional packaging costs. So I try to find things that I can bring straight here, know the cost, and send straight to Takealot. One of the biggest questions I ask myself in this section is, can I sell this item for at least 2 to 3 times the cost of it arriving here? Now, to many people, that may seem like a crazy amount that I'm adding a 200% or sometimes even a 300% markup. But I'll explain to you why this is key and super important. Now, just to simplify this, if I was selling this directly to someone and I bought the item for 50 Rand and sold it for 100 Rand, well, I'd be making 50 Rand, and that's not a bad day. I found with Takealot that you often have to take the cost of an item and times it by 2 or 3 just to end up getting to a 25 to 35% margin after you've taken into account all of the Takealot costings that they will take off and charge you. That's their success fee, the shipping to get to Takealot, and also their fulfillment fee. And that excludes any costing if you are overstocked and they charge a storage fee on top of that. Now, I will be making a full video on costing and the finances because that's a fairly complicated topic on its own. However, in this section, I play around with Takealot's free calculator, and that definitely helps get you in a very close ballpark to the exact costing. Once I've done all the calculations, I ask myself the last question in this section, which is this even worth selling? For an example, this little USB, it's just something I could grab in the office. Say, for example, I could get this USB for 50 Rand and I can sell it for 100 Rand. I know that because this is a small package, Takealot is going to charge a minimum of 46 Rand to get this from Takealot's warehouse to your house as a customer. So if I'm buying it for 50 and selling it for 100, that is already basically all my profit. And that's not even covering their success fee, which will be another few Rand, and the cost to me of shipping this from here to Takealot's DC. Now I can obviously reduce those costs by sending 50 of these at a time to Takealot warehouse. Even so, I'm only going to be making a few Rand every time I sell this. Now I need to ask myself and be honest with yourself, is it even worth selling? To me, the answer for this would be no. Unless I increase my minimum order quantity and order 1,000 at a time, so maybe I can only pay 10 Rand a unit, well then it might be worth selling. Most sellers skip this step and it will cost you a lot. Make sure to be brutally honest with yourself. Here on the other hand is one of our compact espresso scales, water resistant and everything. It's also going to cost 46 Rand minimum plus a success fee to get to you as the customer. However, this is a much higher ticket item, where I'm able to sell this for around 1,600 Rand on Takealot, and so I can work with that in the margin. So for me, this is worth selling. All right, now I know those first 2 steps took a little bit of time to explain and get through, but they are probably the most important, or at least the most time consuming and the most concentration needed in those 2 steps. Moving on to I for inspect. Many people make the mistake of simply choosing a product. Maybe they've done the research on it. They buy it and straight away they're wanting to send it to Takealot. I make sure to always negotiate with the manufacturer or the supplier a sample. Now, yes, I usually need to pay for that out of my own. I would have needed one for myself in any case to take original photos, which we'll get to in a little bit. Getting a sample and negotiating a sample from the manufacturer or supplier is important to me for 2 reasons. Number 1, I need to check that the manufacturer is willing to go through some extra effort with me in the partnership, because I want to be partnered with them for the long run and I don't want them just to be selling me junk. So it will speak to the quality of supplier and their customer service. Secondly, this just gives me some security and assurance before I commit to paying a lot of money out of my own pocket at a risk essentially, because it might not sell on Takealot. So at least I can look at the product, maybe show it to a few friends and family, see if it's something that they would be willing to buy. Are they happy with the quality, and find out how much they'd be willing to spend now that they can see it in person. Ensuring that the product is of good quality is going to drastically decrease the rate at which people may return it. So far to date, we have only had 2 returns ever. Now, a big part of that reason is because I always inspect our items first to make sure that they're good quality. Step number 4 is to list. We've finally done all the research. We've inspected. We're happy. We've ordered our minimum order quantity that is needed from the supplier, and we're able to list it onto Takealot's site. Now, if you need help getting an item onto Takealot, you can check out the video over here where I go step by step through that. Now, as I promised at the start of this video, this is the step that is by far going to make the biggest difference in helping you stand out amongst your competitors. This is where I also spend some time writing good SEO keywords and descriptions, persuasive copy, my own unique, great looking images of the product. Stop using the images straight from China, because that's what your competitors are doing. They're simply taking the pictures from the supplier, from the website, from the manufacturer, and straight away they're uploading. Now, for the first image of Takealot, and sometimes even the second, sure, that's fine, but be sure to take your own unique photos of the sample that you got. I can't stress this enough. When you browse through Takealot, I'm sure you've opened up some products and you've browsed through, and you can just see there's pictures with measurements, but they're in millimeters and inches. That's a straight giveaway that it is just from a Chinese site or from an overseas website site and not your own unique one. So I straight away changed that and only use centimeters or millimeters just to fit the South African market better. And secondly, you scroll through and there's no lifestyle image. You don't know if the product is this big or this big. And so you just don't have enough trust to purchase it, especially if there's no reviews yet. We've got more reference photos where you can see it in our hand, or maybe next to a coffee mug or next to a coffee machine. And this is going to help build trust with the potential buyer. It's going to help them be a bit more likely to push purchase and add to cart. Now, my full build framework, as well as a product optimization checklist that I follow every single time I list a product, and a checklist for beginner sellers wanting to apply and to give them an increased rate at being accepted, since Takealot has been rejecting a lot more people lately. So if you'd like to support me and the channel, click the first link in the description where you can get the bundle of all 3 of these resources. That will be sure to help you sell more. I go through that full checklist to make sure that my page is as optimized as possible. I make sure that the first line in my description for my item is addressing a problem or a desired outcome. So in the example of my espresso scale, straight away I'll start with perhaps a question. Are you tired of inconsistent espresso? That's addressing a pain point, which is probably the reason someone is looking for it in the first place. Or I'll start with the desired outcome. Do you want more consistent espresso? Now, that may not be the best copy, and I'm not the best copywriter out there, but it's definitely a lot better than starting with, this espresso scale is very accurate, right? People don't want the information. They're there shopping either because they have desired outcomes that they want to attain, or because they have problems that they want solved. So start by addressing that straight away, getting them curious to carry on reading your listing's description. Now, I will make a full video just on product optimization because there's so much to it to optimize your listing. However, that first line is important, and make sure the description keeps on hitting desired outcomes and pain points. In the required specification section, this is where you make sure you put all the needed specifications. Its weight, its size, the volume that it can hold, the colors available, everything like that you put into the specification so that your customers have all the information that they need, so they don't need to click out and think, well, I don't know if it will suit my needs. Again, the resources are available down below to make it a lot simpler. The last step of the build framework is develop. This is where I look at ways that I can influence reviews, make changes based on the feedback from the reviews on Takealot, and then scale with targeted advertising and product expansion. This section takes a bit of creativity. Takealot doesn't allow you access, for obvious reasons, to the buyer's email addresses or any contact information. So you can't necessarily resell to someone who's bought from you or remarket. You also can't directly ask for reviews. However, what we found that works really well is having little thank you cards that say, thank you so much for supporting our business name, and essentially having a call to action. Please, would you consider supporting us by leaving us a review on Takealot? Now, I wouldn't use those exact words, and we just make little small ones that fit into our products. We print that ourselves or get it printed, and then we put that into each of our products where it makes sense. This has definitely helped us rack up more reviews, and those first few reviews of your new product are crucial. As soon as you get a couple reviews in, especially good ones, you'll start ranking higher on the page when people search for that particular product or niche, and you'll gain way more trust from people because they can see that it has been bought before and people have enjoyed it. When these reviews do come in, I go through it, I read it, I see what did people like, what did people say that they wish was different about the product. And then I look, is there another product that maybe solves their problems? Is there a way I can fix my current product in order to solve their problems? Any changes that could be made to my item? And look at ideas of future items. This is also where I do some advertising on Takealot. I found great returns from advertising products on Takealot just through their system. In the beginning, I just use all the automatic settings, and then I go through all the data. I usually spend 500 Rand at a time just to get some data and information back from Takealot to see which products had a good return. And from there, I target those particular items, and then I can spend a little bit more if I'm getting a return on it. Be sure to monitor your metrics though. Don't just go wasting money and not getting a return from it. If we're going to spend 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 Rand on ads, it better be making more than that back in profit. So be sure to check out all your analytics. Now, I do have a 6th bonus step, and this is not to do it alone. Someone who's also selling on Takealot can help you avoid a lot of mistakes, whether it's a friend or someone that you've reached out to that is also selling on Takealot. In my area, I have a couple of friends who are also Takealot sellers, and we constantly share some tips with each other and learn from each other. There are also many great South African YouTubers that offer their services or their time or their courses. So where they are offering quality stuff, have a look out for those. Every week, I have at least 5 to 10 one-on-one sessions, either quick 15 minutes calls or full 90-minute deep dives with people, going over all of their questions, screen sharing with them, and just diving a little bit deeper and helping set them up for success with a little bit of a roadmap and actionable steps. Now, if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, then check out the second link in the description to book one of those sessions with me. Or as I mentioned, just by chatting through some friends or even other people that you may know in business. But don't do it alone. Now, if you're not yet selling on Takealot and you'd like to get started, check out this video. Otherwise, YouTube thinks that you'd really enjoy this video. So maybe give that one a try.